Alright, welcome back class. So last time we talked about graphing polynomial functions. We talked about synthetic substitution, direct substitution, what a polynomial was. That was all 5.2. So today we're going to actually add, subtract polynomials. And we probably won't get to the multiplying, and we'll just have to wait for the second part of my 5.3 video. Alright? Alright, the most important thing when adding and subtracting polynomial functions is combining like terms. Alright. Let's go ahead and see some examples. There is no definitions, because again we're just combining and adding like terms. Alright, let's go ahead and start with example number 1. Pay attention to the parentheses. Again, Mr. Mira likes to trick you guys, so pay attention to where you don't actually need parentheses and where you actually do need parentheses. Okay. So example number 1, we have 8x to the 4th minus 3x plus 2 plus 5 minus 6x minus 3x to the 4th. Okay. So again, remember, it makes your life easier if you do everything in standard form. So make sure your polynomials are in standard form. When you're adding and subtracting, not necessarily, but if you want to do it in standard form, go ahead and do it. Okay, it's just good practice. Alright, so the first one, is it in standard form? You ask yourself. So standard form just means the highest power first, lowest power last. So it goes 4. There is no 3, there is no 2, there's a 1 here, and there's a 0 there. So this one's good. But if you look at this one, it's not in standard form, but again, we're just going to go ahead and add and subtract straightforward, okay? Alright, for problem number 1, we don't actually need the parentheses because when we're adding two things, okay, there is no necessary for the parentheses. So let's get rid of it. And now you ask yourself, what can you combine first? So you have 8x to the 4th. And you have negative 3x to the 4th. So 8 minus 3 is 5. We don't do anything to the term or the exponent. Okay. Next comes 3, but there is no 3 up there. Then comes 2. There is no power of 2. Then comes 1. I have 1 here, and I have 1 here. So negative 3 minus a 6 is a negative 9. And then lastly, we have our positive 2 and our positive 5, which gives me positive 7. And that right there is combining like terms with polynomial functions. It's just like adding and subtracting integers. Okay. Alright, so I'll let you try number 2. It's just addition. Let's go ahead and go on to number 3 and number 4. Let's go ahead and do number 4. I'll let you do number 3 for homework. And again, if you have any questions, those are the questions that I want you to ask tomorrow in class. Okay? Alright, let me go ahead and copy that number 4. Alright, so for number 4, same concept. We want to add and subtract polynomial functions, but again, you have to ask yourself, does this negative change anything? The first one, the parentheses, we don't need it, so let's just go ahead and rewrite this. And for the second one, you can't just get rid of the parentheses because we have a negative, so that's known as the distributive property. And again, I already taught you distributive property. So let's go ahead and distribute the negative. Not just to the first term, but to the third term, okay, and the second term as well. So negative times a positive, it's still a negative. Negative times a positive is a negative. And a negative times a positive is still a negative. 6b to the 4th. Alright, and similar to problem number 1, okay, let's go ahead and combine like terms. So we have negative 6b to the fourth, negative 6b to the fourth. That's going to give me negative 6 minus 6 is negative 12, b to the fourth. Next, we have, before 4 comes 3, and we do actually have a third degree, which is here and here. So 5 minus 7 gives me negative 2b cubed. And there is no square power, there is no exponent of power of 2 or exponent power of 1, but there is these numbers, so 8 minus 1 gives me positive 7. And I wrote my answer in standard form. If you notice, it's 4, 3, there is no 2, there is no 1, and then 0. Alright, so again, here is adding and subtracting polynomials. I did one example of adding, I did one example of subtracting. Okay. Let me go ahead and put up the examples. So again, go ahead and try 2 and 3. And again, tomorrow if you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. Let's go ahead and move on to multiplication. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and multiply monomial. Remember, we talked about this in 5.2. Mono meaning 1 by a binomial, 2 terms. These are all polynomial functions. So let's go ahead and multiply using the distributive property. Okay, so we go to number 5. So distributive property means, let's go ahead and distribute the first term to the first term to the last. Okay. So we actually get 4 times 3 is 12, n times n is n squared. Okay. Remember, when you have the same base, we add the exponents. That was section 5.1. Okay, this is totally different than adding and subtracting polynomials. When we're adding and subtracting polynomials, we did not care about the, well, we actually did care because that's how we match our, excuse me, that's how we combine like terms based on the variable and its exponent. Okay. All right, and then lastly, 4 times 6 is 24. I can't do anything else, and that's how you multiply polynomial functions. All right, go ahead and erase last example. All right, so again, I'll continue on my next video. I'll probably go ahead and do number 8, and then we'll go ahead and finish up the lesson. Okay. So again, if you have any questions, please ask me tomorrow in class, and then tomorrow's homework is to watch part 2. All right, see you guys.